Speaking of problematic people, thoughts on what the fuck happened with Rudy Giuliani? Because in terms of like people not being mad at the right thing, you know what I mean? Like this motherfucker's on the
Shameful.
Masked Singer. We're really going to treat him like a celebrity where he's getting the whole celebrity treatment. This guy literally is just a few, like 12 months removed from trying to overthrow our fucking democracy.
Absolutely shameful. I mean, he's under indictment. Why is he on Dancing with the Stars?
He's literally being investigated by like multiple agencies right now. He's under indictment. Like the motherfucker might be in jail before the end of the year.
Well, this makes me think that he's not then.
That's a good point.
I mean, how serious could the charges be? I mean, if the feds are charging me with the shit they're charging him with, I'd probably be in jail.
Yeah.
And if I wasn't, I'd probably be home.
And he's grifting like Trump is he's benefiting from Trump, who is still fundraising off of this shit. And he's telling people it's money that's going towards his campaign when it's literally just being used for legal defense. He's a billionaire who still needs other people to pay his legal bills. And Giuliani is benefiting from that. The grift is bullshit. What producer thought this was a good idea?
I mean, whoever it is obviously a wizard because it's working.
It's clearly intended to rehabilitate this guy's career. And why are you trying to do this person favors?
Because they're obviously not going to jail, which will only embolden that crowd.
That's what really bothers me. If Giuliani and Trump don't end up in jail, like, bro.
They're not going to jail. They don't send presidents to jail.
That motherfucker needs to be in a goddamn orange jumpsuit. I mean, Steve Bannon has still defied the subpoena that was issued on him in like October, and that motherfucker's still not in jail, and he's in.
How do you defy a subpoena from the Department of Justice? I'd like to know. How do you like? So you're just like not going to respond? You're just going to go to lunch?
I'm just going to go to lunch. Okay. Oh, I have a subpoena. Tell the DOJ I said fuck off.
Right.
Because I'm white. I'm Steve Bannon. I used to work at Goldman Sachs. I was Trump's campaign director. I'm not doing shit.
And they were like, okay.
Yeah, where the fuck is you haven't even that's the one thing that bothers me. You motherfuckers still haven't gotten Trump's tax returns. And Steve Bannon hasn't been arrested yet. And this motherfucker is in open defiance of a subpoena. Yet we're supposed to take y'all seriously. Like, what the fuck is going on?
It's because it's ridiculous. And the whole thing, to me, this whole thing's rigged. Just like I think football games are rigged. Yeah. I think everything is rigged. Everything is just an illusion of choice. And to tell you the truth, it's almost ridiculous at this point that we expect any different results than the results we're getting from any event.
What I worry is they're gonna just drag this out to the point where it's like 5 years later, and then they just like, we should all just move on.
Well, they want to move on from January 6th. I mean,
yeah, they're already telling us to just get over it.
Yeah, because that was justified.
Oh yeah, they said it was the RNC censured Liz Cheney and Adam Kinzinger for being on the January 6th committee, and then they officially declared, which I didn't know a political party could do, but they officially declared like the official version of history. You know what I mean? Like they're the Ministry of Information or something. They officially declared January 6th legitimate political discourse.
Yes, basically they're giving it a stamp of approval.
How can you say you support law enforcement? How can you say you support the police when these people came in here and they were beating up police?
And why are the police standing by this group who feels that way?
Yeah, they beat a cop to death.
There's cops testifying of their experience. Why wouldn't every cop in the nation support them? Since we're told all day long how the majority of cops are such good people, it's a few bad apples. How come all the good cops aren't coming out and saying, we support these police officers and we are repulsed by the fact that this party would sanction an insurrection that resulted in the death of police officers? How are we all supporting this? I haven't spoken to any police officers about this because I've limited my conversations with people about this because no one seems to have really an engaging conversation that's thoughtful, and everyone's just so reactive, like, Blue Lives Matter. Okay, well, how come you don't support this? There's no real. What's the answer? How do you justify that? The Blue Lives Matter party.
How do you justify, anytime somebody says, hey, you have racists in your party, you always say, oh, well, we're the party of Lincoln. How do you say that? And then these people are showing up, party of Lincoln, waving the Confederate flag in the Capitol. Why would the party of Lincoln support people that are waving the Confederate flag? Those people were literally Lincoln's enemy. They wanted to kill Lincoln.
Right. That's what they're demonstrating, that were they there then, they would have been on the Southern side. That's what they're demonstrating. because the Confederate flag didn't come out until the Civil Rights Movement. That was in reaction to the Civil Rights Movement. But they're basically saying Southern pride, which really means they wanted to remain separate from the northern states who were not as committed to slavery because they had moved on to industrialism, not because they had loved Black people so much. Yeah. One of the largest slave ports is in New York. So let's not kid ourselves about that.
Not to mention the whole riot that they had where they just ran around killing Black people in the middle of the war. At Irish, right? It was portrayed in Gangs of New York. They literally killed any nigga they could find for like 2 days.
Right. I mean, the KKK starts with Scottish people, so Scottish Americans.
Yeah,
so,
they didn't love niggas. They just moved on. And
right. The North industrialized. Yeah, they just did not need bodies for labor as much as the South did.
Right. If you have Southern pride, you can display your Southern pride by waving the flag of your Southern state. Or or literally the SEC flag, the Southern, the athletic conference that represents all these giant Southern schools like Alabama and Tennessee, et cetera, and Florida and Georgia and all of those. You know what I mean? There's a million other ways to display your pride in being from the South.
Right.
There really are. But no, you wanted to wave the flag of the people who did not want to be a part of the United States of America. And I will leave it with this. We call it the Union. I would like us to change it. That was the Union. They were the United States of America. I think by calling it the Union, people think it's a thing that's removed from being the United States of America. No, that was the United States of America. And these motherfuckers took up arms against it. They're terrorists. They were the enemy.
I mean, I don't know how we're disputing that. I thought that was something we had all agreed on historically.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they asked Governor DeSantis of Florida. A journalist asked him, what are your thoughts on like the Nazis having like a meeting here? And he was like, that's a democratic tool to slander me. And they were like, can you answer the question?
Yes, the question. You won't even say, you won't even say something as simple as, well, fuck the Nazis, but they do have a right to free speech. Simple, move on. Next question.
I don't condone the behavior, but they do have the right to gather. He was like, this is democratic slander. I was like, that's not what the journalist asked you. And it speaks volumes. Right, those are the dog whistles. It's not so much as in what is said or spoken in hidden language. Sometimes it's also what is not said.
Yeah.
And there was a lot not said by him not answering that question directly.
Yeah, just it's a scandal. They're trying to slander me. Yeah.
Right.
What is not said?
Right. And I believe it's Oklahoma that has put out a $10,000 bounty on any teacher that is reported to be speaking on racism in a way, that speaks on any material that contradicts religion. There's a phone number you can call and you can get $10,000 for reporting a teacher.
Right under our noses, they turned this shit into 1984. They took all these people that are so fucking mad that Trump lost and they just channeled all of that energy into, okay, we're going to make it impossible for a Democrat to ever win this state again. We're going to make it harder for people in general to vote. It's not just white and Black folks. It's literally everyone. We're going to make it harder for everyone unless you live in like a rich white neighborhood to vote. You're all going to be standing in line much longer. And people support that. Yeah, give me longer lines to vote. And then on top of all of that, we're going to be burning books. We're going to be snitching on teachers.
I don't understand this. I don't understand why this is. How can the same party that's against cancel culture also support this? How can
you be against snowflakes and then say, oh, well, these books that are so offensive and horrible to us?
Yeah, it's schizophrenic and nuts.
These are the same anti-cancel culture people. They're the same facts don't care about your feelings people. However, they are literally passing laws so that the government can protect white people, from being offended.
Right. They're not worried about Black people being offended.
Yeah. They care more about a white kid's feelings than teaching the truth about history. And
it's not even about the kids. They don't give a shit about the kids either. Nope. They don't want the kids to find out that they were part of this. It's about them. It's not about the kids. They don't want their grandchildren to right. They don't want their grandchildren to find out they were at those lynchings and that their grandparents were at those lynchings and that their grandparents participated in treating poor people poorly. They don't want their grandchildren to remember that they are the ones that were spitting and using slander against little Black children that were integrating schools. I mean, the people screaming in those photos, who the fuck do you think they are? They're the people you know and love. That's grandpa. That's Aunt so-and-so. So you don't, it's not about the kids. It's about you. You don't want them to know what a piece of shit you were.
Yeah. And it's interesting. The actual government in these states is doing more to protect people from learning about Ruby Bridges, who was legitimately bullied in school.
Legitimately bullied.
Bullied every day, right?
Every day.
They're doing more to, they are worried
every
that
day.
you might feel, they're worried that white kids will feel uncomfortable learning about that.
Right.
Than teaching about this woman who was actually made to feel very uncomfortable because she was literally the only
actively uncomfortable, and she had to take it on the chin every day. But these little motherfuckers can't read about it.
It might make people uncomfortable to learn about how uncomfortable this person was when she was the only Black person to go to a white school in this state.
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, she was uncomfortable too.
Yeah.
It's shameful. And if we actually, that's why Chris Rock says he doesn't watch any of the slavery movies that come out. And the reporter asked him why. And he said, because these movies never really show how bad it was and what we had to endure. It never truly reflects what these people did and what their grandchildren saw and how that has manifested through people's bloodlines. I mean, people forget Black people couldn't even go to doctors or dentists. They had to go to veterinarians, because dentists wouldn't put their hands in Black people's mouths.
Oof.
They forget that they killed Black people for learning the alphabet.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. You learned how to read? The fuck?
Who taught you that? You know what an octagon is? Who taught you that?
We're going to kill you and whoever taught you that.
We're going to kill you and whoever taught you that. And we're going to burn the book, too.